Gott, jetzt kommt bestimmt ein Willenmonolog von Snowball. Moment. Ich bin sofort wieder für euch da. Wunderschönen guten Tag, Sie sprechen mit Frau Mucke. Hallo? Fremde Menschen rufen mein Handy mit Taschenanrufen an.
Mit was anrufen?
Taschenanrufen.
Ah.
Du weißt wohl, was ein Taschenanruf ist.
Mein Gott, ich habe schon so lange kein Tastenhandy mehr.
Das kann auch mit einem Dingens-Handy passieren. Also.
Na, eigentlich nicht.
Tatsächlich nicht? Ich habe auch keine Ahnung, warum mich immer komische Menschen anrufen. Ich habe auch mal einen Anruf gehabt von irgendeinem Typen, der gesagt hat, er will den und den fertig machen, ich soll ihn ans Telefon holen. Ich kenne dich gar nicht. Was? Was ist los? Die hat uns von dieser Nummer angerufen. Ich so, kann nicht sein. Doch, das hat er. Oh. So, and now everyone is here. Hello, Waffles. Very good to see you again. Snowball, you're involved in this? Wieso ist er noch überrascht? Wir haben das Geheim versteckt an der Zelle seines, in dem alten Geschäft seines Bruders gefunden. Wir haben rausgefunden, dass er nicht in der Zelle sitzt, sondern sein Bruder. Warum zur Hölle sollte er nicht involviert sein? Sorry, das ist einfach nur so. Hatten wir das nicht schon in Kapitel 3 vermutet oder so?
Irgendwie ja, ja.
Ich meine, deswegen ist es auch spezifisch nach Snowballs Laden gegangen und so. Was ist hier los? And nice to meet you as well, Spotty. How are you here? I saw you in prison. Spielt ihr nur? Weil ansonsten habe ich das Gefühl, tut es, als wäre Kapitel 4 nicht passiert.
Also entweder das oder er ist wirklich ein bisschen dumm.
You already know that wasn't me, Inspector. Don't play the fool. One thing I know not to do is to underestimate you. And I'm confident you now understand the events of the last few days. I need to know what you're doing with this laser. Are you gonna destroy the entire city? Goodness, no. What kind of mad cat would do you think I am? Destroying the city? To what end? There's no point in doing that. I want power. And inciting a little chaos is the quickest way to get it. Cat Town will be under my paws soon enough. These are delusions of grandeurs, no. Perhaps for small-minded cats such as yourself. But for me, this is ambition. No need for pedantry, though. I'm sure you're more interested in discussing some of the more confusing events from the past few days. That's true. You know me well. I'm grateful for you, you know. I've had so much fun with you lately. You deserve a pat on the back. The laser's ready, and now I'm just waiting for patches to bring everyone out of the building. We have a couple of minutes to spare. Wait, what do you say? We're not using the laser during the debate? Ahaha. You see, friend, I'm always one step ahead. I know Pepper's pointing a gun at my back. Better keep a low profile for now. To start, we'll go back to the beginning, to the formulation of my greatest desire. Control every soul in Cat Town. Some years ago, I created a corporation of thieves. We secured a large number of assets, became rich, and the police couldn't catch us. Yet, I remained unsatisfied. Unlike Robin Wolf, we were not respected. We only inspired fear amongst the populace, and they saw us as a threat. Well, you didn't share money with the poor. not completely true, dear cat. I paid people to do various jobs for me. Some of them were in need of cash. Unfortunately, they weren't as trustworthy as my original crew. Soon I had an epiphany. I'd never be able to control Cat Town until I literally controlled their minds. No more ulterior motives, no undue fear. No doubting my ability. You're mad. Oh, I know. But it's a creative madness, and I'm proud of that. I had this wild idea about hypnotizing our fellow citizens. We started simple, reverse psychology, classic conditioning, basic things, but we needed subjects to experiment on. Okay, so you did your psychological training on the guinea pigs. No guinea pigs, cats and dogs, of course. It took some time, but our first test was quite interesting. We tried and believed succeeded in making the subject believe he was someone else. How good was he, Waffles? You've met him. Do you know who I'm referring to? Entweder Mellow oder Pavlov. Fast vermuten Mellow. Oder?
Ja, Mellow.
Oh, your brother Mellow. He's the one in prison. He believes he's you. Correct. He really looks just like me, don't you think? He's your brother, Snowball. How can you let him rot in prison? And I scratched his face for nothing. Yes, that is a shame. Collateral damage, as they say. In my defense, Mellow approached... Shit. Ich hab zu schnell geklickt. He was broke, his shop was going under, and he asked me for money. I seized the opportunity, and now he's my very own stunt double. It became a very practical setup. He'd be eating at a restaurant, every police cat and dog in town watching him, and on the other end of the city I would be robbing a shop. That's why you always had an alibi. Now you're catching on. It was one of my best ideas. Not even mentioning the other advantages it presented to me. You said Mellow's lobotomization had other advantages. Lobotomization? We're not such space animals, Waffles. He's my brother. Even if he wasn't the brightest kitten out of our little, I would never put him under the knife like that. But since he was on the team, I made use of him. We made him disappear to another city, and I was able to procure his old shop. And this cotton candy shop, let me guess.
Bist du noch da?
Ja.
Gut.
Bin ich noch zu hören?
Ja. Du warst auf einmal du warst so plötzlich so still. Das hat mich so ein bisschen
Entschuldigung.
geschockt. Sorry.
Wäre aber nicht das erste Mal, dass mein Setup auseinanderrutscht. Obwohl, ich habe ja jetzt ein neues Headset.
Ah.
Jetzt sollte es eigentlich hoffentlich gehen. He used the safe house while Mellow was in prison. You would hide there while preparing whatever plans you had in mind. Maybe you're a little quicker than I expected. And as you said quietly in the shop, your brother pushed pancakes off the rooftop. I must tell you the truth, we conditioned Mellow to be like me. Before this incident, I taught him to hurt Inspector Waffles. He surprised even myself. He understood that killing your partner would hurt you more than just physical wound. You're much too compassionate, Waffles. It's your weakness to a target on your back. Nothing to say, friend. You're the most cowardly and pathetic cat I know. The sentiment is appreciated. Now, back to my story. Mellow was the only subject in the first batch of experiments. So you had a batch of test subjects. Oh yes, we hypnotized a number of cats and dogs. Mostly those who nobody would look for or notice behaving differently. Each of them possessed something we felt we could use to our advantage. A trait or an object. The Maple Market cashier, for example, we knew the shop was located over a sewer access. So we used it as our first safe house. We held our fake cult meetings too, but you all know about that. Sometimes, though, the subjects had flaws. I spent many nights with Mello trying to share all my memories, but he would have just forget the most important one of all. Did you notice it? I guess you remember what you said when Pancakes interrogated you after catching you on the streets by sheer luck. Nothing is luck with me, Inspector. And yes, of course I remember there's more than one way to skin a cat. Ha! Yeah, Mello didn't know. That's how I knew something was off about him. He would never forget that moment. I knew it would happen someday. Inevitable, really. We had many failures. There was a dog that wasn't receptive to the experiment at all. We never determined why, but sometimes he would just black out. No bother, he was useless anyways. An antique collector or something, if I remember well. Oh, das ist der Typ mit der Angel in dem Antikshop gewesen. Erinnerst du dich an den?
Der Typ mit der Angel?
In dem roten
Anzug. Ja!
Den wir ewig nicht ansprechen konnten, bevor wir nicht irgendwie diesen Plastikfisch geholt haben.
Ja, tatsächlich erinnere ich mich jetzt. Ja, natürlich.
Ja. Oh Gott. That's Lucius. I've met him. He was hypnotized by a fishing rod. Yes, that's not my best creation, but improved quite a bit from there. But how is this all related to Fluffy's death? Patience, Inspector. I was telling you, I had some inopportune results with hypnosis. It took too much time for how low our success rate was. I was close to seizing everything. That is until somebody gave me a peek of what was happening at Box Furniture. So we went to Fluffy's house, but not alone, with a powerful ally. Vermutlich Pavlov. You needed somebody strong as Pavlov, but why? Yes, Pavlov was me. But you know nothing of Fluffy's true identity. Without Pavlov, there was no way I could ever hope to defeat him. Pepper mentioned Pavlov to me some time ago, and when I met him, Pavlov's potential was immediately visible. Clearly an asset we wanted on the team. I knew we would not need to do a thorough job with him, so we used a special method just for him. Classic conditioning and using a bell to boot. Precisely. It took far longer than we imagined, but the training was so impactful it didn't matter. He was ready to go by the time the Box Furniture intel arrived. What intel? It's quite interesting. Did you know that Box Furniture has an R&D department with an enormous budget, very high-tech stuff? They produce odd for a cardboard company. No, they were experimenting on a new technology for collecting info on their elephant boxes. They called it barcodes. You use some kind of laser on it and can edit them on a computer. I can't be bothered with the details, so who cares? But during the initial tests, the laser made a red dot on the wall. All scientists on the room went crazy. They were jumping all around, fighting like primitive animals. It wasn't even more effective on dogs. It triggered their desire to hunt prey. Oh Gott, es ist einfach nur ein Laserpointer. Ist das sein Ernst?
Natürlich, was dachtest du?
Ich dachte, irgendeine Waffendestruktionswaffe. Er baut einfach nur einen Laserpointer, Mann.
Alter, wenn er einfach nur jemanden umbringen wollte, wird er ein ganz normales Scharfschützengewehr nehmen.
Was mit dem Laser zu tun, wäre so villainous crazy, weißt du? Oh nein. Oh, stimmt, das haben wir letzte Woche festgestellt. Ich wusste es jetzt noch nicht mehr. Stimmt. Das haben wir, glaube ich, festgestellt, als das erste Mal über diese Cardbox-Laser fuhren.
Mhm. Es ist einfach nur ein ganz normaler Laserpointer.
This sounds terrible. I would never want to be like that. Oh dear, police dog, don't you worry. You might enjoy being a bit more feral. So, just to be clear, you went to Fluffy's house with Pavlov, and under your orders, he threw Fluffy through the window. Yes, and I found some interesting info on his computer, which led me to who had possession of the laser's blueprint. You stole it and murdered the cat in the street. Oh, you're finishing my sentences. We must be made for each other. Alter, der Typ, ey. Okay, I get that you were behind those 2 murders, but you're wondering about the fake leads, yes? Yep. Sure. I'm quite proud of those, you know. What would you like to know? The fake Polaroids of both victims. Of course. Those were for patches. I planned on your being out of picture by the time he found the second one, and without you or pancakes? Well, none of you were surprised by how poorly he handled the case from there. All of which was the second part of my plan. Patches would believe that Maple was the next target. He didn't stop to think twice before heading to Maple's office, and so off we went, quietly pocketed the ruby we needed without any police interference. They were all looking for a threat that didn't exist. Oh, yeah, oh god. I know, I'm quite a genius. Any other false leads you'd like to discuss? Okay, I get that you were behind those 2 murders. But you're wondering about the fake, so das hat man schon. The secret underground code. That was specially made just for you, Inspector. I need to make sure I wouldn't be disturbed by stealing the ruby for the laser. It was the best way to keep you out of my fur. You're too much of a threat to my plans, and the only one who could challenge me intellectually. Well, besides pancakes, of course, but I don't need to paint you a picture now, do I? Why not just kill me, though? For the fun of it, Waffles. It was far more enjoyable to watch you stumble and falter and lose the respect of your team. I'm not a psychopath after all. Da wäre ich mir eigentlich nicht so sicher. Debatable.
Nicht?
But please go on. I know you leave no stone unturned. Your personal life may be a mess, but you're a perfectionist when it comes to... Ich weiß nicht, wie es dir geht, aber mir fehlt so dieser Pun bei Perfectionist.
Perfectionist?
Ja. When it comes to detective work.
Ach, ich finde, das ist auch schon fast perfekt.
Ja, er ist kein Perfektionist. Wir wissen doch schon längst, dass er mit dem Papierkram einfach nur abstinkt. Seine Kollegen hassen ihn dafür.
Ja.
Even if you do have minimal respect for procedure. So, why not simply plant some fake clues in your case? Sure, it needed extra time and planning, getting into Irvin's house or finding 30 cats for a cult. A lot of preparation was needed. But I knew the payoff would be worth it. We must enjoy the little things, you know. I really was a threat to watch Informant. I almost owe you things. I should have known better. I should have seen through those clues. Oh, don't blame yourself. I did incredible work orchestrating all that, and you really couldn't have been expecting to know any better. The plan worked to perfection. Immer noch kein Perfection. We had the ruby, the cannon was ready and secure. Everything was going very smoothly. We decided to lay low for a bit and headed to the nearest safe house. But then, when we arrived, we saw both of you there, with Pavlov, leaving the cotton candy shop. So I did something I detest. I changed my plan. You had uncovered too much of it, so I decided to deploy the laser as soon as possible. And I suppose you thought the same, so here you are, trying in vain to stop me. You got that right. Too late now, my friends. We are only waiting for patches to let everyone out because of the pending threat. And then, showtime! We initiate the laser and create what I love most in this world. Chaos! I can hardly wait. It's such a powerful feeling, one that I deserve for all my hard work, but Patches is being a bit slow, as you could expect. So, while we're waiting, I guess this means it's my turn to ask questions. I hope you'll be as respectful as I was, answering with complete honesty. My first question is a simple one. Why did you go to see Mello in prison? Why did you want to interrogate him? To what end? I wasn't linked to Fluffy's death, after all. Actually, I found a hair in Fluffy's office. It belonged to you. DNA match and all. Ah, I see. In spite of perfectly executing every step of my way, the only betrayal was by my own fur. One of my crew secured a key pass that would allow me to go through Fluffy's bathroom to the top floor. Pavlov couldn't have done the job on his own, so I had to be there. Oh well, it doesn't matter anyhow. The only difference is that you had a small preview of my return to the spotlight. Ha! You knew I was involved in the way, one way or other, but how did you find the safe house? How did you make the connection to the shop? I cannot figure it out. Spotty picked up a sugary trail back at the station, and we followed it without any idea what we'd find along the way. It's your little friend here who did all the work. I wasn't expecting that at all. And why would that be? Spotty is a talented sniffer dog. No, not that. You have never been the type to ask another police cat or dog for help on a case. But you're not ashamed to call your little mommy, are you? Do you know how many times you called her during your investigation? 2. Not bad, but not perfect. You could have avoided a couple calls. A couple calls? Einen mussten wir machen und der andere war... Wie macht er aus einem ein Couple? Ich fühle mich... Ich finde, bis auf einen Call hätte man eigentlich nicht weniger machen können. Was? Du lachst so wo? Gibt's was du mir sagen möchtest? Sag schon.
Naja, wenn einer schon ein Couple ist, naja, da gibt's ein Lied von NSP.
Ei.
Orgy for One.
Danke. Anyways, ever since pancakes fell from the roof, you devolved into a loner and milkaholic. But good for you, Waffles. Happy to see you back on your paws. Such a shame. You've got other issues to deal with now, though. Yes? Wait. Do you hear that sound? That's the sweet music of a crowd in motion. It's time to start our little machine. Pepper, are you ready? Don't forget about shielding your eyes from the outside. Spot, you know what to do, remember? Ahoy, MK!
Moin!
A couple of weeks later.
Oh, wir haben es tatsächlich geschafft.
Ja.
Wow.
Ja, eine Stunde haben wir noch mal gebraucht. Hey, hi, can I get